Yeah, we can go ahead and get started. My name's Dan. I'm a SAT and ACT tutor. I also make informational videos on TikTok, YouTube, stuff like that. So if you guys want to check that out, you can visit my explore.danstestprep.com page. I also have a weekly newsletter where I share an SAT tip every week that'll hopefully help you out for the test. And that's pretty much it. The way the Tutor Tuesday session is going to work is we'll go through some basic like SAT warm-up problems, then we'll go through our ACT math, and finally we'll end off with some AMC problems. That's the American Mathematics Competition. And actually, let me see if I can move the whiteboard over to. Let me reshare my screen real quick. You guys should be seeing my Tutor Tuesday screen now. And I'll have the chat open on the other side. Okay, our first problem, and I'll paste it in the chat for you guys as well. It's a pretty simple SAT problem that I think makes for a good warm-up. This one says the solution to the given system of equations is x comma y. What is the value of 5x? And normally when I see something like 5x instead of x or y, like it's got a coefficient assigned with it, I try to figure out if there's some way I can make that quantity appear in my equations without just solving for x and then plugging it in back into here, because that would save us an extra step. So maybe you guys can see already, and feel free to put it in the chat, but the way I would solve this one is I would just literally substitute the value of y that they gave us in here. So it becomes 2x plus 3x equals 12. Yes, exactly. So 5x is going to be equal to 12. If you try to solve for x, you continue here and you divide by 5 and you forget that the thing you're solving for is 5x. That would just make you go through unnecessary extra steps. But that one should be pretty easy. Okay, next one, number 14. The function f is defined by f of x is equal to x minus 6 times x minus 2 times x plus 6 in the xy plane. The graph of y equals g of x is a result of translating the graph of y equals f of x up 4 units. What is the value of g of 0? Yeah, a little too quick there. I think this one we can solve in a couple of different ways. One easy way you could do it is just by plotting this in Desmos, because on the SAT you literally get a Desmos graphing calculator, at least for the digital SAT. Let's say this is you're doing this on the original paper SAT though. What you could do is first find out what the value of f of 0 is. Because f of 0, or g of 0, is just going to be the function f, but up by 4 units. So f of 0 is 0 minus 6 times 0 minus 2 times 0 plus 6, which is negative 6, negative 2 times 6. So that's going to be 72. G of x is equal to f of x plus 4. Let me underline that. So that means g of 0 is just going to be f of 0 plus 4. So yes, the answer should be 72 plus 4 equals 76. Yeah, you could also do it like that. G of x is just equal to f of x, like what I wrote here. You could fully write out f of x in place and just add the plus 4 in the end. Yeah, if you aren't getting this one, this is like an algebra 2 problem. So it just depends on what level of math you're in, but I'm sure you'll get it. Number 17. This one looks interesting. Triangle FGH, let's draw that. And let's do it in a nice different color, like green. Triangle FGH is similar to triangle JKL. Similar, triangle JKL. So that means that the angle measures are going to be the same. It's going to be proportional to this original triangle, but scaled up. These are for like SAT test takers, so 10th, 11th grade. I see we got a lot of answers already. We got some requests to speak. Majority, do you have a solution? You could type it in the chat. Let's see. If sine of f is equal to 308 over 317, what is the value of sine of j? Well, we know that we know that triangle FGH is similar to triangle JKL. So the angle F is similar to angle J. So if the ratio here is sine of F is equal to 308 over 317, it's referencing the same angle is going to be the same for sine of J. That's the cool thing with similar triangles, is that the ratios of the side lengths are staying the same, and that's essentially what our trigonometric functions are. So that's going to be answer choice B. Yeah, you should be able to see the screen. So let me try resharing for you guys if you're having trouble seeing it. Can you see that now? Okay. It seems to never work for everybody at once. And then our last SAT math problem. I think this one is actually like a little bit challenging, but maybe you guys are going to get it in like 3 seconds and I'm going to spend 3 minutes explaining it. We have these two big system of equations. It says in the given system of equations, P is a constant. So it's just some number. If the system has no solution, what is the value of P? Well, for me, no solution means, yeah, it is an earlier time. No solution means, oh, come on, you already got it. That was quick. No solution means that we have parallel lines, which means that we have the same slope, but different y-intercept. So for these equations, I'm going to try to match those up to each other. So I'll do the first equation in dark green. Actually, let's take a look at this bottom equation in dark blue. Let me do it like this. This one, if I consolidate everything, let me get, we can get all the constants onto one side and all the variables onto the other. We'd get 1/2 x minus py is equal to 6 over 2, or 3. Then, if we try to, if the stream doesn't load for you, I also post the questions afterwards. You could take a look. But I'm sorry, it doesn't seem to work for everybody. But I'm going to take this top equation. I'm going to try to consolidate everything so it looks similar. Negative 1/4 x on this side. I'm going to add the 3/2 y to both sides to get plus 6/2 y is equal to 2/3. Then I'm going to multiply this bottom equation by negative 2, which will give me 1/2 x minus 6y equals negative 4/3. So this equation right here, this equation right here is what we're comparing. You could see that I've matched them up so that 1/2 x is the same. And then all we need now is for the slope to be the same, we need the x and the y coefficients to match. So looking at the matching, I'm going to underline it here in red. Negative p is equal to negative 6, so the answer for this one should be p equals to 6. That was a very quick solution by B the Mighty. I think next we'll go into our ACT math problems, since most people are here for test prep. So if you guys can't see a screen, follow along. I'm posting them into the chat. This one's saying the dimensions in inches of two rectangular prisms are shown in the figure below. The volume of the large prism is the same as the volume of how many of the small prisms? Yeah, 12. Pretty easy because we know that the volume of this one, let's call it volume 1, is equal to x times y times z. This one, the larger one, let's call it volume 2, is going to be 2x times 2y times 3z, which if we multiply out all those coefficients, that's just going to be 12 times xyz, which is just 12 times the original volume. Hey little baby, I didn't know we have a celebrity in the session today. Maybe you can take a shot at this next ACT problem, which has to do a little bit with trig. I think this one is not too bad if you know your trig definitions. Oh, I didn't even solve this one yet. Let's see. Which of the following is equivalent to tangent theta over secant theta? I know that. Let's write out some definitions here. Tangent is equal to sine over cosine, and secant is equal to, oh, I always mess these up, but I think it's 1 over cosine. And let me just check. Secant theta definition is, yes, 1 over cosine. Yeah, the reciprocals are a little bit annoying. But now that I have this, I can plug it in and I'll get the following. Substitute in this and this. We get the numerator is sine of theta over cosine theta all over 1 over cosine theta. So I just replaced tangent of theta and secant theta. If you guys want, you know your KCF, keep it, change it, flip it, or maybe you're just good with fractions. I would rewrite this to make it a little bit easier for us to evaluate by multiplying instead of dividing and flipping that bottom fraction. And like many of you said, that's going to cancel out and that's going to give us an answer of g, which is just sine of theta. Equivalent expression, but a lot simpler than what they gave us. Yeah, I'll try resharing my screen as soon as we finish these ACT problems. But I'm glad you're able to follow along with some of the questions, and hopefully you can read off the question that I'm sending right now. This one's cool. It's a probability question. Mr. Schultz has a fair 12-sided die with the sides numbered from 1 through 12. On both Monday and, oh my, Monday, I don't know. Might be too quick. Monday and Tuesday, Mr. Schultz will roll the die 1 time. If the side that lands face up is numbered with a prime number, Mr. Schultz will collect the homework that day. Otherwise, he will not. What's the probability that he will collect homework on both days? Let's see. That's going to be, okay, probability of collect on Monday times probability that he collects on Tuesday. Since those are just two independent events, we can evaluate those probabilities and multiply them. The probability that he collects homework, well, we have to look at all the prime numbers. Let's list all the numbers 1 through 12, and let's just pick out all the primes, since that's going to be the easiest thing for us to do. And it's not that many numbers. Okay, 1 is not prime or composite. It's a very special number. 2 is the smallest prime. 3 is prime. 4 is composite. 5 is prime. 7 is prime. 11 is prime. So there's 5 prime numbers. That means out of the 12 faces that he has, if we want to get the probability of landing on a prime, it's going to be, into purple, 5 over 12. So that means, since these are independent events, the probability that he collects on Monday is 5/12. It's also the probability that he collects on Tuesday. The fact that he collected it one day doesn't affect the probability of him collecting it on the next day. He rolls the die every day. So the probability of collecting on both days, like many of you already said, is going to be 5 over 12 times 5 over 12, which is 5 over 12 squared. Yeah, the answer is A. I don't really know who rolls a 12-sided die to see if you should collect homework or not. Huh. Very interesting. And the last one, number 50 here. I've seen like a SAT problem pretty similar to this. It's actually a little bit challenging and can be misleading. What we have is a solution is 5% alcohol and 95% water. A second solution is 20% alcohol and 80% water. If 2 gallons of the first solution are mixed with 1 gallon of the second solution, the resulting solution is what percent alcohol? Interesting. It is going to be F, but let's work through the work for this. I'm going to write 0.05 times A, or maybe I can just do like 5A. Let's do whole numbers here. 5A as in 5%, and 95 water is going to be 5% alcohol and 95% water is going to be our 100% of the first mixture. Somehow got G. I don't know. The answer for this one should be F. So let's go through it. The amount of alcohol, we don't even have to write out the system of equations because we could just take a look at, if it's 5% alcohol in solution 1, we're multiplying by 2 gallons of the first solution. I'm going to color code this for you guys. Then that's going to be 0.10 gallons. If we do the second solution, 1 gallon of the second solution, which is 20% alcohol, that's 0.20 times 1 gallon. We've got 0.20 gallons. Then if we want to sum that up, because that's how we're going to get the total amount in the final solution, there's 0.30 gallons of alcohol in the total solution. Remember, the total solution is going to be the 2 plus 1, which is 3 gallons. So 0.30 gallons of alcohol over 3 gallons total, that's where we get that ratio of 10%. That's going to be F. Yeah, we don't even need to look at the water. We just need to look at the alcohol portion of it. Okay, last year we've got some AMC problems. Since some of you guys can't see the screen, I'm going to try one more time sharing this. I hope it doesn't screw you over for those of you guys who can already see it. These are some fun problems that I pulled from AMC. They're kind of towards the earlier, actually all of them are like in the earlier section, but I still think that there's some fun problems. I see answer D. Yeah, you should take a sheet and try to solve this too. I actually didn't really solve this one out beforehand because it looked pretty simple. I think it was like the first question on the test. But let's go through it. Pablo buys popsicles for his friends. The store sells single popsicles for $1 each, 3 popsicle boxes for $2, and 5 popsicle boxes for $3. So in the first option, we get 1 popsicle for $1. Oh, sorry, let me read the rest of the question. What is the greatest number of popsicles that Pablo can buy with $8? Right, so single popsicles for $1 each, that's 1 popsicle per dollar. 3 popsicle boxes for $2, that's, if we normalize that, that's 1.5 popsicles per dollar. And then 5 popsicle boxes for $3, that's 1.67 approximately per dollar. That makes sense. I mean, the larger number of popsicles in a box, probably the better value you're going to get. So we want to maximize, and we can try to take like a 5 popsicle box plus a 3 popsicle box. That'll get us to 8. Oh wait, sorry, we're maximizing the cost. So we could do like 2 times 5 pops plus 1 times 3 pops. Total cost for that would be 2 times $3 plus 1 times $2, which is going to be $8. That's our limit. That's good. If we evaluate the numbers for it, that's going to be 10 plus 3, which is 13 popsicles. I think very easy problem to start us off for this one. And everyone who said D was correct. Actually, a lot of people said D. That's good. This one's a little bit more fun. I bet someone's gonna get it right away, but anyways, the sum of two non-zero real numbers is 4 times their product. Okay, so x plus y is 4 times the product of that. And then what is the sum of the reciprocals of the two numbers? So we want to find 1 over x plus 1 over y equals what? I don't know. Oh, dang. That was quick. Dang. Okay. You guys are all correct. Wow. A plus b equals 4ab, 4. So C. Yeah, you can explain out the rest of your work there as well. I think that'll be good. Or, sorry, you don't have to. That's kind of my job. I'll do it. But if you guys were solving this for the first time, the sum of the reciprocals of the two numbers. Let's see, 1 over x plus 1 over y. One thing you could do is you could assume, or you could just like plug in numbers. If you didn't know how to solve this algebraically, you could do like assume that they're both the same number. That would simplify things to x plus x equals 4x times x, or 2x is equal to 4x squared, meaning x is equal to 2. Sorry, divide by x. Let me take it a little bit slower. 1 is equal to 2x, so x is equal to 1/2. Then, of course, if you assuming, let me write it up here, assuming x is equal to y, which simplifies the equation for us, we would get something like 1 over 1/2 plus 1 over 1/2 equals 2 plus 2, which is equal to 4. Yeah. If you didn't know how to rewrite the sum of the reciprocals, then that would be a nice, easy way to do it. But assuming you know how to do that, one thing you could do is you take a look at the format of this. 1 plus x, or sorry, 1 over x plus 1 over y. Let me block out a section to solve this here. That's the same thing as x plus y over xy, right? I could multiply this by y over y over y times this. I could multiply this by x over x, and then I get the denominator of xy, and I get x plus y on the top. And from here, let me write it in green down here. If x plus y equals 4xy, that would mean that x plus y over xy is equal to 4. So, like, algebraically, that's how you would solve it. You would get answer choice C, like everybody got right away. Cool. Next one we've got, let me paste it in the chat. Looks like a logic question. I hope you guys like logic. Oh, you hate them. Yeah, I kind of do too. But I took a discrete math course and it made the logic stuff a lot easier. Miss Carroll promised that anyone who got all the multiple choice questions right on the upcoming exam would receive an A on the exam. Which of these statements necessarily follows logically? Okay, so I'm going to write that if, I'm just going to write this as like an if-then statement because I think it makes things a little bit easier. If someone, if you get all the MC right, then you get an A. Contrapositive is definitely a good word here. Am I back? My headphones just keep dying every 30 minutes. Or shutting off. Whatever. Yeah, you got it right in the chat. What we can do is say, if we have statements P and Q, if P implies Q, or if P then Q, we could flip that and say, if not Q, then not P. That's what the contrapositive is. You kind of flip these around. Let me do it in a different color. That'll make it more clear. So, if you got all the multiple choice right, obviously you would get an A. But if you, let me write the contrapositive. If you didn't get an A, then you didn't get all the multiple choice right. So we have to find an answer that sort of matches that statement. If Lewis did not receive an A, I see A or B look pretty good candidates for that. Let's see, A, if Lewis did not receive an A, then he got all of the multiple choice questions wrong. Well, that's not what we're saying, necessarily. If Lewis did not receive an A, then he got at least one of the multiple choice questions wrong. That is logically equivalent to, if let me do it in like red. That is logically equivalent. He got at least one of them wrong. It means he didn't get all of them right. Definitely choice B. Yeah, these logic puzzles are can be kind of tricky sometimes, but I think this was a good example. Not too difficult, not too easy. All right, I've got one more AMC problem, and then since we're kind of quick on time today, maybe I'll do like one more challenge problem that I found recently that I thought was fun. Okay, 8th grade, dang. This one's not B, I think. Let me go through it. Jerry and Sylvia wanted to go from the southwest corner of a square field to the northeast corner. Okay. Yeah, I hope you guys remember your directions, because that's going to be useful. Everybody should know. Southwest. All right, let me draw this out. We labeled in everything. Southwest corner to the northeast corner. Jerry walked due east and then due north to reach the goal. So you got Jerry in red. Why would you do that, Jerry? Sylvia headed northeast and reached the goal walking in a straight line. Right? That's like the smart thing to do. Which of the following is closest to how much shorter Sylvia's trip was compared to Jerry's trip? Like one easy way that I would do this is just define, if you guys notice, this right here is a triangle with which it's a square field. Square field. So this side length is equal to this side length, and this is equal to side length root 2. Right? 45, 45, 90 triangle, square. If it's a square, and I took a chunk of it out to make a triangle from corner to corner, it's going to be a 45, 45, 90 triangle, or these sides are going to be the same. And of course, using Pythagorean theorem or whatever, if you just memorize this identity, you're going to get s root 2 in the diagonal. So you could plug in numbers if you wanted. Like for example, I could do s equals 1, then Jerry walked 2 units, and Sylvia walked square root of 2 units, which is approximately 1.414. Okay, so how much shorter was her trip compared to Jerry's trip? I don't know, guys. How are you going to figure that out? You got to tell me. What I would say is that Sylvia's trip was square root of 2 over 2 equals 0.7, 0.70 or 0.71 of Jerry's trip. She only walked about 70% of the distance that he did, which means she walked 30% less, approximately 30% less. Yeah, 70% of Jerry's, he walked 30% less. Another way you could do it is you could take percent difference. You could do Jerry's trip minus Sylvia's over Jerry's. That would be 2 minus square root of 2 over 2. Oh, okay. And I'm just going to put that as decimals. Right, and that's going to be 0.6 over 2, and it's going to be 30, or 0.3. So 30%. Her trip was 30% shorter. Yeah, I'll be honest, like the first time I did this one, I kind of put 70 right away. Or I don't even know. Maybe it was like, well, no, I put like 60 or 40 because I thought, oh, zero point 0.4, but I was like, oh wait, we need to take percent numbers. And I put 70 and I was like, oh wait, but it's 30% shorter because she walked 70% of his thing. So yeah, this one is kind of tricky, but Like once you get it, I think it's not too bad. Okay, last one. Let me find my phone. Someone texted me this problem. It was actually my dad. He was texting me and he's like, "Who can solve this simple problem?" So let me write it out for you guys. Yeah, dad problems, right? Or let me type it out because I can type it a little bit faster. Dang. Okay, a red car left city A towards city B at a speed of 90 kilometers per hour. At the same time, a white car left city B for city A at a speed of 60 kilometers per hour. At the same time, simultaneously, I don't know why he added that in there, with a white car, a dragonfly flew out from city B in the direction of city A at a speed of 100 kilometers per hour. When the dragonfly met the red car, it turned around and flew towards the white car. After she met the white car, I guess the dragonfly is a she turned around and flew towards the red car. And so it flew until the cars met. How far did the dragonfly fly if the distance between cities is 234 kilometers? We got our answer choices as well. 176.2, 156.0, 135.2, and 225.0. It's an insanely fast dragonfly. Or yeah, you can make it a dragon if you want. I'm not stopping you. What do you guys think? I think this is an interesting problem. Any ideas? Do you guys want me to invite you up to speak here? Is that like a thing? Or you like the chat? Guessing C because that's too many words. Social anxiety. Don't worry, I was the same way. But now I kind of have to present. We got 150 plus 100 is 250. I think you're on the right track there. I think you're on the right track. I'm just giving some feedback. I got one vote for C because it's too many words. I got one vote for I'm still reading it again. I got one vote for I'm new and I don't know if I should understand this. I see Oliver's got the right answer. I can give you guys a hint. Hint. First, I would say find the amount of time. Oh my god, my handwriting is horrible. And I have a drawing pad. The amount of time it takes for the cars to meet. I don't think it's too long. This could be like a good ACT problem, like number 55 through 60. They always do this kind of thing. I'm gonna give you guys a second hint and see if I can walk you through how to solve this. Hint number 2 is, yeah, you can use a calculator. I did. After you find the time it takes for the cars to meet, find the help button. What help button? Yeah, you can call a friend. Find the time it takes for the car to meet. Hint number 2, find a I guess it's just like from there you have to solve the distance that the dragonfly flew. Use the distance. Sorry, use the time. It use the time to meet plus the dragonfly's speed to find its distance. this distance traveled. Okay. I see a lot of confusion in the chat, so let me go ahead and start solving this one. I'll paste in the solution as well because I really like this problem. Okay, so red car goes from city A to city B at 90 kilometers per hour. For those of you who can't see it right now, I'm going to just paste in the problem statement. 90 kilometers per hour, A towards B. And in another color, I'm going to underline the fact that a white car is going 60 kilometers an hour from B towards A. Yeah, it is B. And in total, the cars are approaching each other. You don't even have to find out what point they're going to meet. You can just find that the cars are approaching each other at 90 plus 60 equals 150 kilometers per hour. 90 plus 60 is 150 kilometers per hour. And then I'm trying to remember how I solved this one. Yes, so the distance between the cities is 234 kilometers. So we take now in purple 234 kilometers divided by 150 kilometers per hour is going to get us 1.56 hours. And finally, if the dragonfly, I should use a different color. The fly goes, okay, wait, I don't like that color. I'm sorry. This red. The dragonfly is going at 100 kilometers per hour. The fly is going 100 kilometers per hour times that travel time of 1.56 hours. The reason is, yeah, rainbow colors. If the fly is always going to travel at a constant speed of 100 kilometers per hour. It's basically, it doesn't matter whether it's traveling in this direction or that direction. It is going to keep bouncing back a little bit. We're not even, yeah, it's essentially finding the dragonfly's distance at each direction, but we only need to do one operation because the sum of all the direction changes is just going to add up to the speed that it was over the 1.56 hours. So it's 156 kilometers. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's going to be choice B. Fun little final challenge problem, which I'm going to paste in the chat for a solution. Where are we? Awesome. I think that's pretty much it for me. We'll have a little bit of a shorter session this week, and back next week I think we'll go back to the original time. I did a little bit earlier this week. If you guys want to see more SAT tips, I have a newsletter at explore.danstestprep.com. If you sign up for that, that's also where you get notified of my exclusive group tutoring options. Yeah, thank you guys for all coming out. Follow me on TikTok, whatever, if you want, or don't. Doesn't really matter. But I do appreciate you guys coming out, and I'll be here next week. My TikTok, it's on this page. Um, yeah, I don't really post there anymore, but I'm sure you could go binge watch all my videos. And when a new trend comes up, you guys can maybe find like a funny video on there. It's also at Dance Test Prep. It's the same as my username. Yeah, I have an Instagram. I don't post there quite as often either. I just do like one-on-one tutoring sessions, but I'm trying to make them more accessible. So if you guys sign up for the newsletter, you would get notified if I ever do like a group tutoring option for like a digital SAT crash course or ACT crash course. Yeah, thank you guys for joining. I'm gonna head off for tonight, and I'll post the PDF summary and probably session recordings for this as well. All right, thanks guys.